lost our brother Joe.
Really?
We didn't know he died?
No, he was my flight instructor as well.
Oh, well, yeah, Joe had a stroke on the ramp. And they took him into the hospital, found out he was covered with cancer. He only lasted a couple more days. But the interesting thing and the good thing about Joe was that he died doing what he liked to do. He was flying right up until the end. And for those of you who know I had trouble getting a medical for a year, Joe had a medical. Anyway, my name is John Teddy. I am the Orlando FSDO Flight Instructor of the Year for 2024 and 2025. And yes, I do have the little coin to prove it. But that I am also a member of the FAST team, and Hangar Talk is a part of the FAA safety team, which is the FAST team. Has everyone heard of the FAST team? Who can tell me what our purpose is?
Promote safety.
What?
Build safer skies for aviation.
Okay, it's close. I like this one better. Our purpose is to prevent aviation accidents. Okay, so this year I called this 2026 the year of safety. Okay, just because it's something I made up. All right, because I figured why not. But I've studied a bunch of things that I think cause accidents, and one of the leading causes of accidents is distraction. Would anyone disagree with me on that? Has anyone ever been distracted while flying? No? Okay. Let's talk about some of the distractions that can happen. The focus area, okay, I already said that. This is going to be hard. I don't have my little clicker. So, let's start with the pre-flight. Has anyone been distracted doing a pre-flight? Right? What happens? That she's recording me right now, but what happens? Oh, hey, hi, Mom. Yeah, oh, and you forget to put the dipstick back in or something like that, right? You can be distracted. It's never happened to me, no. I think I've got, it puts a few things up here, right? Have you ever been interrupted, and if you allowed someone else to do something when you're pre-flight? Okay, you're an instructor. Who are the instructors here? Raise your hand if you're a CFI. You're watching your student do the pre-flight, right? Yeah. I just looked at Pat's resumes. That's 4 pages of very, very imposing things in there. I'm overwhelmed by that. Oh, by the way, part of the FAST team, I'll be interviewing Pat on June 20th, the week after our pancake breakfast, right? It'll be on FloridaAviationNetwork.com. It's called Plane Time, and I will be the host, and Pat will be my guest. And we're going to fill up 2 segments of 22 minutes just talking about his induction into the Florida Aviation Hall of Fame. So congratulations on that, Pat, for being inducted into the Florida Aviation Hall of Fame. It's been a long time here of that. But when you're an instructor and your students walking around doing the pre-flight, do you ever see them get distracted? Do you ever distract them? On purpose, right? Yeah, my instructor used to do that to me too. Sure. Anyway, let's take a look at some others. Have passengers ever distracted you? Yeah. By the way, I'm going to do the 3 B's. I'm going to be brief, be good, and be gone. Okay? There will be no questions at the end of this. If you have a question for me, just come up afterwards and ask me, because I know people got to go somewhere. All right? Passengers can be distracting. Has anyone ever had to handle a passenger distraction? Can you think of that? Just think back to the last time you did it and how you did it. Sometimes you just have to say, hey, please be quiet. Or stop, leave me alone. Okay? There have been situations where accidents have been caused by distraction due to passengers. Animals. I can think of one accident was caused by a bee in the cockpit. Anyone ever had an insect drive them crazy in the cockpit? Somebody was allergic to bees, and they said, oh my God, there's a bee, and before you know it, they were on the ground. Well, I think they were more allergic to hitting the ground than they were getting stung by the bee. Have a plan for that.
I had a snake in the cockpit once.
What?
I'm not saying it. I'm not going to say it. You know exactly what I'm thinking, right? Snakes on a plane, okay.
Throw it out the window?
No, they're just running all around. it was corn snake, but it was still distracting.
Yeah. Imagine so.
Has anyone seen that video of the people up in the paper? It's a cloth plane, and there's I think it's a J3, and there's a cat in the wing. Have you seen that?
Yes.
That would be a distraction. Obviously, radio communications, air traffic control, and others, you have to manage that. Make sure you don't get upset. I know, by the way, I think it was in 2008, a regulation was put in that we were supposed to monitor guard while flying. How many of you, are you doing that? Are you monitoring guard? Do you know what I mean by say monitor guard? Some people, you monitor the emergency frequency? And what do you hear? Cats, yes, okay. That's distraction. I turn it off. I don't listen to you. Sorry. Who listens to music when you're flying? Please stop. Don't do that. If you do, please make it quiet or have that audio system that turns it down when a radio transmission comes in. I was flying with somebody who had the CD going in their headphones, and they missed several calls because a particularly good song, I guess. Do you remember was it a year and a half ago, there was a Southwest that started to take off on the taxiway down at International? Do you remember the story? As it turned out, someone had dropped a pencil. I don't know what they were writing, but they dropped the pencil, and so one person's head was down looking for the pencil, and the other one, the captain, I believe, who steers on the ground, because the captain has the tiller, just momentarily got distracted and turned onto the taxiway rather than the runway. I still don't know how you do that, because the taxiway's got blue lights and it's got a yellow line, whereas a runway has white lights and white lines and big white stripy things with numbers on it. I don't know how you missed that, but that's a true distraction. Dropping items can certainly happen. If a dropped item happens and you're flying, you can ask a passenger to pick that up, or a snake. If you want to, would you pick up that snake, please? Okay. I remember coming to land once, and tower looks up and says, "Look at the launch." And I'm coming in to land on 7, and I look, and there's a launch, you know. And I almost forgot to land the thing. I'm watching the launch, and oh, what, I gotta land first. So that can be a phenomenon that can be distracting. Fortunately, nothing happened, but, you know, I don't know why Tower decided it was time to announce the launch. It did look cool. I will give them credit for that. If I had time, I'd get into that now that they've released all the UFO stuff. Okay, I don't think anybody here is working with CPDLC. Is anyone doing airline flying right now? Do you know what that is? It's a controller pilot data link communication, something like that. All right, we won't get into that right now. Automation. How many times do you get distracted looking like, how do I put this in? Who's a Garmin user here? I mean, we're all using Garmin's now, right? Anybody on the 750 or the G3000 or anything like that? You realize that trying to put things in, if you're not totally current on what's going on, you can get distracted putting in, like, suppose they give you a change in routing. What's the thing to do if they give you a change in routing and you can't put it in time? Anybody give me a quick, easy way out of that?
Ask for a heading.
I like that, yes. Can I get a vector? Can you give me a heading? Just give me a heading and an altitude and keep me away from people so I can put that thing into my GPS. Yeah. We call that being a child of the magenta line, by the way. All right. When I first came back to flying, I took 10 years off, and I came back to flying, and I was out flying with somebody, and that they called traffic at 1 o'clock. Well, I looked up at 1 o'clock. What do you think my friend was doing? Yeah, looking at the iPad. And I'm saying, it's not there, it's out there. But I gotta admit, you know what I do now? I look at the iPad. I can see that does kind of work, but they can be distracting, especially if you're having trouble getting it synced up. So iPads are a little distracting. And then the big one, I'm gonna be kind of a jerk about this one. I apologize in advance, but this really bothers me. Okay. have you ever caught yourself texting on the way out to the roadway? You should not, do you realize you're not supposed to be doing that, right? That's against the rules. Are we familiar with the term sterile cockpit? Okay. When you are taxiing, when your plane is in motion, especially on the ground, I would say in the air, but especially on the ground, you're in a sterile cockpit environment. And texting your wife or your significant other or someone telling you like, hey, we're getting ready to leave, be home soon, is not an essential part of the flight. And accidents have happened while that's been going on. There's a couple of runway incursions that happened because of that, because someone was texting. And I don't think there's been actually a collision, but there were some near misses. So let's stop doing that. Let's not use our phones while we're taxiing out, and especially once you get airborne, it should be off. Put it in airplane mode. I mean, okay, I'm not the youngest person in here, but I do remember when we didn't have these things. You know, you just checked your answering machine when you got home. Life went on. You don't need to get that text right now. All right, so just be safe with the phones. And I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything, but I said I would be brief, be good, and be gone. I don't know, I'll be at least 2 of them. I am gone because I'm just gonna ask you if you had any takeaways, please come up and tell me afterwards, and I would be glad to hear if there's anything you would add to this list. Thank you.